Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, today I have a couple of stories, one involving the Loch Ness Monster and maybe the myth behind its humps, and another, a video was taken of a possible alien sighting, basically in this woman's driveway with her doorbell camera that it took. Very intriguing stuff we're going to read today. Either way, we'll start off with this article. Loch Ness Monster's famous humps may be a myth. Either way, let's get into it now. Souvenirs and children's books often show Nessie as a snake-like beast with distinct humps breaking the water's surface, but new research reveals that eyewitness accounts rarely match this popular depiction. Only 1.5% of reported sightings over the past century describe Nessie with humps or hoops, according to a study by Dr. Charles Paxton of the University of St. Andrews and Adrian Shine of the Loch Ness Center. They analyzed historical imagery, finding that while 25 to 32% of postcards portrayed Nessie with humps trailing behind its neck, this design is biologically impossible. Such a swimming method would be highly inefficient, making it unlikely for the creature to appear that way. Now, folks, I've often thought about this, that the way people think of monsters like Mothman and Nessie, maybe they've been influenced by popular culture. And with the fact that people think that Nessie has humps, in reality, maybe it doesn't, because I've often wondered, how do the humps work exactly? I'm thinking maybe that might have been a mistake. So, let's continue to read this theory and wonder exactly what Nessie might actually look like. Contrary to assumptions that witnesses are swayed by media portrayals, the study suggests most sightings stem from real, unexplained phenomena. Scholars often assume that monsters are generated by cultural expectations, but it is always useful to test obvious hypotheses, Dr. Paxton said. In this case, it really seems witnesses do not generally report the impossible, even though the hooped monster is a common portrayal of Nessie. Nessie's legend dates back to the Middle Ages, but the first modern sighting occurred in 1933, when hotel manageress Aldi Mackey reported a whale-like creature churning in the loch. So indeed, folks, maybe when people see a creature, they report what they see, and they don't let popular culture influence their stories. Now, if you know anything about, people and skeptics, they will often say that what we're seeing is just things we imagine, folks. That we let our imaginations fly away with us, and that what we're seeing is just things that we partially imagine from popular culture. But folks, if this article is true, then that means that most witnesses, when they describe encountering some paranormal thing like this, they're saying exactly what they're saying. They're not letting popular culture or their imaginations run away with them. So that is indeed very startling information. But let's continue, folks, and then we can theorize and wonder about this a bit more. The Inverness Courier dubbed it a monster, sparking global fascination. Since then, over 1,000 sightings have been logged, including 3 in 2024 and 2 in 2025, one describing 2 humps and another a long, thin creature. Early theories suggested Nessie was a plesiosaur, an extinct aquatic dinosaur. However, skeptics argue that cold Loch Ness waters couldn't sustain a cold-blooded reptile, and a warm-blooded one would need more food than the loch provides. Over the years, multiple searches, from sonar sweeps in the 1980s to DNA sampling in 2019, have found no evidence of large unknown creatures. Instead, researchers propose giant eels as possible explanation. Indeed, folks, I've said that before, that maybe the Loch Ness Monster might be a giant eel. Either way, in 2023, the largest search in 50 years yielded mysterious loops on acoustic equipment until organizers realized the device wasn't plugged in. So, folks, mistakes can be made, but people are seeing things, and, there's a good chance what they're seeing might be true. Either way, folks, very interesting. But let's move on to the next article. Unidentified alien-like figure filmed on California doorbell camera. Indeed, folks, when we watch this video, you're going to see something that looks like a gray alien with a big head and all, folks. It only is on the video for a few seconds, but is indeed very strange. But first, we'll read the article that comes with it, and then we'll watch the video, and then I'll give my own ideas about this after I finish off this article. Either way, let's get into this article, and then we'll watch this video, and then we'll theorize on exactly what this creature was actually. The strange video shared by bewildered homeowner Jessica Ortez shows a diminutive gray figure with an unusually shaped head scurrying across her driveway. The footage, reportedly captured at approximately 12:45 a.m., shows what many are describing as a stereotypical gray alien standing an estimated 3 to 4 feet tall, shuffling quickly beside Ortez's front porch before vanishing from the frame. Moments later, a cacophony of loud banging noises can be heard, which Ortez later clarified was the sound of her back gate opening, though intriguingly her motion sensor cameras in the rear of the house detected no further presence. Indeed, folks, this entity was visible for a few moments, and, well, I have to suppose, folks, maybe it had some sort of cloak on and it revealed itself, maybe for whatever reason, to Ortez's front door camera, but when it left her property, maybe it once again, well, cloaked itself, perhaps. Maybe that's why they couldn't detect anything in the backyard. Either way, that's just my theory, folks. What do you think this creature was? Well, watched the video, and to me, folks, it looked like a gray alien. But then again, it could very well have been maybe a guy, a short guy in some sort of mask. Either way, folks, we can theorize about that after we watch this video. So let's get into it now. Very strange video, don't you think, folks? Now, here's the video again, but this time without the audio. Let's wonder about this. Look at that creature with the blow-up. It looks like an alien being, and it looks like it's more than just, well, a guy, basically, with a puppet, just basically puppying it in front of a mirror, I think. It could very well be, folks, that exactly what it is, but I kind of think it looks like maybe a real bipedal creature. But, as I said, folks, could this possibly be some sort of mannequin on a stick or something? It is an idea, and the more I look at it, it makes me wonder. But, as I said, yeah, it looks like it's almost jumping or basically walking at a good pace, folks, as it passes from the camera. But that could be because it's being carried by someone, but we don't see anyone, right? I mean, look at it. The video's going back and forth, and it looks like there's nothing there. You can even see as it passes by this, well, glass bucket, as you can see through the bucket, it looks like it's right there that's just walking. But as I said, folks, what is this really? Is it an alien being, or is this some sort of hoax? As I said, folks, I'm leaning towards it basically being a possibility that it's real. Either way, folks, let's finish off the rest of this article, and then we can theorize a bit more. The mystery deepened with the account of Ortez's aunt, who lives next door. She reported hearing 3 loud bangs on her roof around the same time, followed by unsettling scratching sounds that sent her fleeing to her home in prayer, which is wild to me, Ortez emphasized when recounting her aunt's experience. Many viewers are quick to posit an otherworldly visitor, citing the figure's uncanny resemblance to popular depictions of extraterrestrials, or even, as some lightheartedly point out, Roger from the animated show American Dad. More grounded observers are offering alternative explanations, ranging from a clever hoax involving a puppet or a specially designed costume to a strange animal caught in an unusual light. Do you think it was an animal, folks? Maybe it was some sort of dog with mange, but it clearly looked like it was bipedal here, folks. So could it have been maybe a shaved monkey, perhaps with some sort of prosthetic on its head, maybe as basically part of a hoax? It didn't look like it moved like a monkey, folks. It looked like it was bipedal like a person. But there's a possibility, I guess. I have seen monkeys walk on their back legs before, folks, but is that really what it was? Or an orangutan or a chimpanzee? I just don't know. Either way, folks, let's finish off this article, and then we can theorize and basically wonder exactly what this creature was. Some even suggest it could be a person attempting to conceal their identity by wearing a baggy clothing, though the figure's unique head shape remains a significant point of contention. The lack of detection by the rear motion sensors also adds a layer of doubt for those leaning towards a human intruder. Indeed, folks, it doesn't look like a human to me, unless, well, they were a little person, and even then, that doesn't look right, because it looks, well, like it was maybe 5 feet tall or a little shorter. So, while that would be a dwarf, you have to consider, folks, that this person would have to be incredibly thin, and they'd also have to be wearing a prosthetic on their heads, and the way it moved looked more natural than the way some little people move. But then again, we're talking about someone who's just basically a dwarf. Maybe a male or a female, and it could be that, but I highly doubt it. Either way, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.